I'm Colin Murray. This is Denny Lenormand for NOLABJJ's Technique of the Week. This week we're going to do arm bars from mount. So I'm here in Denny's mount. The traditional armbar we learned is from much higher, with Denny's arms extended. The problem with this armbar is that it assumes Denny's made a big mistake. He's put his arms straight up like this. So it's not very practical for sport jiu-jitsu or for MMA. So I want to look at a different armbar that we can use during tournaments or grappling matches or cage fights. So when I'm here, I'm really going to wait for Denny to start escaping. When he starts turning to his side to try and shrimp, this is when I can make my attack, because he's put one of his arms up in the air. So I want to come underneath his far arm with my hand. I'm just cupping him right at the elbow, just to make sure he can't continue turning that direction. Right? I want to bring this foot up, and I want to slide my knee underneath Denny's head so he can't turn back and put his body flat to the mat. Once I come here, if I can, I want to bring my foot underneath Denny's elbow right here. This helps a lot. It's not necessary, but it'll help me just establish a little bit extra control right here. So once I'm here, this hand's going to come underneath and scoop both of Denny's arms. This will make it so I won't have to break his grip later on in the submission. I come underneath here, this hand can now come back and post behind me so I can lean to the side and bring this leg over Denny's head. Once I have this over Denny's head, I want to scoop it in tight before I sit down. If I don't scoop it and I sit down, I make space and Denny's elbow comes through. So I come here, pull this in tight to make sure Denny can't bring that elbow through as I sit down. Also, as I sit, I use this back hand to push myself forward. So I come almost underneath Denny's shoulder right here. If I don't use his hand to push, the same thing happens and I move away, allowing him to bring his elbow down. Scoop here, push here, sit down. Now, I'll slide this hand up to this wrist. This hand can come in, and I want to make sure Denny's thumb points to the sky. I want to pinch my knees as tight as I can right here, keeping his wrist pinned to my chest, and I'll lean back and extend my hips. So the entire technique, one more time. Denny turns to the side, and I scoop. Post this leg, slide underneath his head, gather both of his arms, post out here, and bring in his head. Now I can sit back, come up to his wrist, and finish my armbar. I'm Colin Murray, this is Denny Lenormand. See you next week.